All right, I'm joined by George Rush St-Pierre, back after a long absence, 4 years. Now, you mentioned earlier, training is a little bit different this time around for this sort of fight. Is moving up to middleweight part of that as well?
Yeah, but it was a long process. I did a diet for a plan for 6 months. So it was not something that I just did for the training camp. It was a long process.
I have a tough time reading you when you're next to Michael Bisping. It seems sometimes he's amusing you and sometimes he's annoying you. Would you say he's more amusing you or more annoying you?
More amusing, annoying a little bit, you know.
Can you do an impression of him? He was doing one of you.
Hey, pal! I don't know what it is.
You know, one for impression.
My English is so bad, and then English accent, it's another thing, you know.
You did a documentary for TSN. It's airing in a couple of weeks. What was that experience like, having TSN document a lot of your comeback to the sport?
It was fun. It was like they were with Robin Black, is a friend of mine, so it was good. You know, it was a good kind of companionship, and we had a good time.
It seems like Michael's taking as many shots at you as he has Freddie Roach. Is it disrespectful to see what he's doing to a guy that's of such legendary status?
Well, he does that to make us, you know, fight his fight, and but it won't happen.
And finally, George, I know that this is obviously a very big fight for you, Madison Square Garden. I've heard from multiple people in interviews, Freddie included, Faraz, that Conor is somebody who has been an interesting fight for you, a super fight of sorts. And there seems to be more and more interest in that. I keep reading more and more about it. Is that something that you have your eye on?
He competed in a different weight class than me. I'm focusing on Michael Bisping right now. I don't know. Anything can happen in this sport, you know, but I haven't imagined myself fighting him so far right now.
Have you imagined yourself fighting Robert Whittaker if you do get a win? I know you've mentioned that in the contract that's something that's probably next.
Yeah, that's probably logically the next thing, but we never know in this game. That's the thing, we never know.
I saw you speaking to Francis Ngannou over there. When I first interviewed Francis, I said, like, what do you think of George St-Pierre coming back? He just started training MMA 3 or 4 years ago. He hadn't heard of you because he hadn't been watching the sport before then. What kind of stuff were you talking to him about? He's obviously considered potentially the next heavyweight champion, or at least contending for the heavyweight championship down the road.
He's amazing, very talented individual, and he's got his head right where it is now, and I can't wait to see his next fight.
All right, George, thanks so much for doing this. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.